So I come across this video from Nate Black, link in the description. Apparently YouTube's got some new rules for 2026. And look, the sooner you learn the rules, the sooner you can abide by them. Let's see what exactly he's talking about. Is this literal rules or just sort of subjective things that we're putting in here? Let's see.
I've made you some cards to show what's been happening with YouTube right now, and you'll want to act on these to be prepared and have a successful coming year. Howdy everyone, Nate here. First thing I have been observing is bingeable series are the future on this platform. It shouldn't come as a surprise to almost anyone watching this that YouTube rewards watch time, not subscribers, which by the way, if that does come as a surprise to anyone, welcome to this year, baby. This is how YouTube is going.
I mean, true. I mean, probably like 10 years ago when I first ever made a YouTube channel and was watching YouTubers, it was always about the sub count. Always about the sub count. Recently, it's just changed. It's the way that it's shifted. And I think TikTok has a play in this as well. And definitely YouTube Shorts. It's about the numbers with views and watch time, like you said, not the sub count.
Even if it's not a surprise to you that watch time is the way that YouTube is going, why specifically bingeable series? I was having a conversation recently with YouTube creator liaison Renee Rich, and in that conversation, Renee pointed out some very interesting things. He referenced a few studies done, which I think I found, I'm going to show on screen for you today, where these studies demonstrated that for many watchers, many audience members, not just on the YouTube platform, people were choosing to watch the same shows over and over again. Now, there's an element of comfort to that, but there's also an element of pre-trust, meaning if your audience knows beforehand what they can expect from a piece of content with that pre-trust in place, and they had a positive, satisfying experience with the series previously, how much more likely are they to watch and enjoy that future piece of content? Having ongoing series in your content builds trust unlike almost anything else right now. And this leads to one of the most beneficial things I am seeing for YouTube creators like yourself, which is this: easy wins. And this came up also in my conversation with Renee, where we were talking about how different formats of content on this platform have different amounts of choice needed in order to consume that content. If you create bingeable series for your audience, they have to make fewer choices to know that they're going to enjoy that session that they're having on YouTube. And does the algorithm or the algorithms like that? You bet. And that ties in perfectly with this: TV viewers.
I mean, it's easy to follow that principle with game series that are simulators, for example. You can do a lot of parts in that, or story mode games, to be honest.
This has been on the rise for more than a year now. In fact, this very thing was reported directly from their annual report from the YouTube company themselves. So if TV viewership is on the rise with many audiences, what does that mean for you and I as creators? This is how I take it. When I think of someone watching on a TV, their behavior is going to be different than on a mobile or a tablet or on a desktop. Each viewing behavior has a different set of habits associated with it. For TV viewership, my take is that this is going on. What I am calling a reclinability factor. Yes, you can quote me on that. Meaning, this is the kind of video that for many audience members, if they're going to watch on a TV, they're going to go navigate to your video, or maybe it's recommended to them. They hit start, and then they're able to recline and not do anything else. And this is for one of two reasons. Either A, you've developed your video as a compelling story, or B, you focused on camaraderie, meaning you focused in your videos on the type of content that just feels like people are spending time with you, meaning they can turn it on their TV while...
I mean, even before TV becoming one of the prominent viewer ways on YouTube, I myself was a ghost viewer, or I don't really know what you call them. There's like a terminology for people that just don't comment anything. That's pretty much me. Like, the majority of my time on YouTube over the past like 15 years, I don't comment at all, to be honest. I just enjoy watching it, and I like the video, and that's pretty much it, or maybe sub as well, and that's it. But of course, with TV, it's going to be way more. There's so less likely you're going to... I don't even know if you can comment on a TV, to be honest, but yeah, it's pretty people that will just want to watch and sit back, and whether they're eating food or they're just bored, watching on a TV is becoming the main ways people are watching YouTube now.
While they're building Lego, or while they're doing a craft, or while they're doing chores. And focusing on this reclinability for your content is a rare triple win for the YouTube platform. The triple win being, for your audience, you've developed a story or camaraderie for them so that they're having a very satisfying experience. For YouTube, you're keeping people on the platform longer, which is the binge series, the watch time. And for you, the creator, many creators have reported much higher ad revenue from TV viewership versus other devices. Next thing, unthumbnails. If you have not yet watched my video about the unthumbnail trend that I'm observing right now, I coined the phrase unthumbnail to describe this, and I highly recommend you watch it. But the reasoning behind focusing on unthumbnails for the packaging on your videos goes way deeper. First, if you've spent any amount of time as a creator on this platform, there is a wave, a tsunami of freaking...
What is he going to say? Should I take a guess? I mean, beastified thumbnails, I guess. Maybe with background removed faces and I don't know. A face taking up a core of the thumbnail.
An AI slop thumbnails that are being published on this platform. They are terrible. In fact, I published an entire rant video pointing out strategically how to use AI for thumbnails and why what is currently happening will not work. It's a very entertaining video. You should watch it after this. In fact,
I don't really know what point he's coming out. I'd be honest, to be honest, Nate, I don't know why you included this thumbnail thing if you're not going to explain it. I know there's a whole video about it, but I mean, you might as well should have just briefly explained
I conducted
it.
an experiment where I published that video at the exact same time as this video you're watching right now. So yeah, you want to watch it. So we know we're not focusing on AI slop, but when it comes to unthumbnails, thinking of them as a hybrid of, hey, I'm a real person, I am not AI, combined with compelling value, it just makes for a clear value proposition. And this combines very well with this next thing, combating that tsunami
I mean,
of
you
AI
should have
slop.
explained it. You should have explained
as
it.
a skill, a practiced skill. Now I want you to listen close here because this will sound more obvious than it actually is. And I want you to look at your own content to measure it against what I'm about to show you. First, I failed to make a boop the like button card. I know, I can't believe it. I usually like to put like a fun little Easter egg, boop the like button. Totally forgot to. So here is inviting you to boop the like button on this video if it's being helpful and eye-opening to you thus far. Thank you for doing that. Let's talk about authenticity. Now, authenticity by itself is not a new concept. It's been since practically the beginning of time. But what I am seeing right now on the YouTube platform is thinking of authenticity as a skill and intentionally focusing on it is extremely valuable. Realness is the authenticity and intention or the skill behind that authenticity. So what do I mean by this? Similar to what I've been observing with unthumbnails, there being a range between raw thumbnails and highly engineered, enhanced thumbnails. When it comes to authenticity, there's also a range. On the one hand, we have completely raw, and on the other hand, we have only retention editing, only keeping the most interesting parts, only keeping the very, very highest engagement elements within content. It is my premise here that creators that focus on
the raw
authenticity will come out on top. Because on the one hand, being fully raw within your footage and talking to the camera or sharing things does come across as completely authentic, but it also sometimes loses people who don't feel like they have the time of day. So my premise here is that for most creators watching this, there will be a massive, huge benefit from placing yourself somewhere in the middle. I've got some rawness, I've got some authenticity, it's real.
I mean, Islam teaches me as well.
What I am including
being in the middle of
a
lot of things is the best thing to do.
What this looks
it's a good balance.
Side-by-side comparisons of each of these. I also wanted to combo up with this authentic skills, AI proofing of your content. I was originally going to keep these.
I like this idea, Nate, of you having the cards. It adds a nice twist to it, a nice game-like feel to the advice you're giving.
Two separate until I realized, heck, these are almost one and the same here. With the current reality of AI content creation relying on already existing content, how are we going to prove our channels are as an enhancement or a creative tool to enhance your capability as a creator? Now hear me out here while I share my current take on AI tools. Fortunately and unfortunately, depending on how you look at it, they are getting better. And along with that, they are not going to go anywhere. So my theory here is when done well, combined with this authenticity as a skill, AI tools are currently and will continue to enhance your capability. In fact, I would go so far as to say for many creators, if they are not utilized well, they will be left behind. So what we're saying here is we're going to leverage them, specifically to do this. My recommendation each time this conversation comes up is to not completely outsource your creativity, but to use AI to enhance it. And a tool that has been doing this very well, in fact, leaving many other tools completely in the dust, is vidIQ. And a perfect example.
Yeah, vidIQ is really good. I should probably be looking at it more, but I really don't.
Here, before I get into the bonus, I had to talk about this last thing because it is far way too overlooked by creators. The way you position yourself as a creator will have an even greater impact this coming year on this platform. Meaning the approach you take to making content, it needs to fit you. And the first level of
that is so true. Oh, yeah, round of applause for that one. That is a very true point.
Like
that might be my favorite point.
But I wanted to explain it to you again because on my end, I am going to go much more in depth on this in this coming year. There are 4 types of creator positions: hero, performer, teacher, and commentator. If you're a hero, for example, you're the one experiencing the content and having the journey, and your audience is there observing and having the experience with you. If you're a performer, you're creating content, and you as the content creator may not even matter to the audience. It's all about the topic matter. If you're a teacher, well, it's pretty self-explanatory. You're teaching something, you're helping your audience acquire a skill set or get an outcome or a goal. And if you're a commentator, you're acting as a filter for usually real-world already existing things, and you're providing commentary and or enhancing the conversation by sharing your own insights on them. I'm going to go much more in depth in this on an upcoming video, but the purpose of this is identifying the approach you're taking to your content that it needs to fit you. I care deeply about this because just this very week, I had over an hour-long conversation with a client where this person, by all accounts, was extremely successful as a person. Monetarily, success with other people, all of that, very successful. But along the way, it came out that they were feeling terrified because all of this other success was all like layers on the onion as they were getting closer and closer to doing what they really wanted, and they were just terrified of it. And there's a big possibility that you watching this also know what that feels like, which is why I'm strongly advocating that everyone choose content that fits them as a person. Because person or brand or business fit is one of the biggest indicators from my experience of being able to be consistent and grow consistently. And a nice bonus thing here.
Yeah, I think I won't do too much talking about this because I can really talk a lot about this. Just finding a space for yourself before you actually upload the content and create it. Just trying to see for yourself, what type of content do you want to make? You know, what type of content do you want to do to express yourself, and one in which you would enjoy. And then at the same time, thinking about on the other side of things, when and why would people watch your video? If you think about it like that, whether it's someone who wants to learn something, whether it's someone who just wants to watch something while they're eating, someone who's bored, someone who's about to go to sleep and they just want to watch it, thinking about those sort of questions, that helps you be a lot more intentional about the stuff you're doing and making. And it makes a lot more sense because when you look back at the content you create, following that principle, it's a lot more refined, a lot more intentional, and it's for a purpose. And it's all in all, you can still enjoy the process doing that. So it's very important to understand those things before going forward.
The clearer it is for yourself, the clearer it is for your audience, which means the clearer it is for, you guessed it, the algorithms. Now, I promised some bonuses here, and here it is time to talk about those. Unfortunately, I don't have any cards for this, so we're just going to have to say bonus time. There are 3 features that the YouTube platform is either currently rolling out or about to roll out soon that are going to completely change the game for creators like you and I. 1, they've already been doing thumbnail testing. They are rolling out title testing. Now, you may or may not already have access to title ABC testing. If you do, I highly recommend that you leverage it in one of 2 ways. First, have different titles in the same thumbnail, or
that is insane.
second, have the same title and different thumbnails. It's the simplest way
title
to do
testing.
a ABC
How?
test. Second feature, the collaboration feature. And this is the ability for one channel
that's
to upload
crazy.
a video
I've
and
seen
then have
that.
it basically co-hosted on more than one channel at once. I am wildly curious to see how this performs. In fact, I have some plans in the works to do some testing on this.
Seems like
But what I will say
KSI
for now is
Deji use
typically
this.
when a new feature is rolled out on a platform, there is an advantage for the early adopters because the platform wants to test that feature. So I strongly recommend, if you have access to collaboration feature, that you just test it out. Find some friends, find some fellow creators, and say, hey, let's do some collab videos and just see what happens. Third feature is this. I don't know. I should have looked up the official name for what this feature is called right now. I'm calling it sponsor segments. As I understand it right now, as of recording this video, it's going to be rolled out within the next 12 months. But what this is the ability for you and I as creators to specify when we upload a video, a section of the video where we are going to insert our own sponsor segment. Very similar to how we can specify ad breaks for the YouTube Partner Program ads. We will be able to upload ads that are either from a company, it's a sold sponsor ad similar to TV, or we'll be able to create our own sponsored segment that's ourselves talking about a launch that we're doing or a new product that we have. And we'll be able to get this in retrospect, go back and insert this into any video on our channel. This alone is going to completely change the monetization landscape on this platform. It is huge and I am super excited for it. Another strategy that I have developed and tested, I call a channel remaster. I just did this on a client's channel with huge success, and that video just published at the same time that this video you're watching right now.
I'm gonna leave a like on this one, guys. Make sure I'll put the link in the description for this video. Make sure you check it out. It's very insightful. A lot of it was subjective concepts which are effective when you implement them, including the one where he said content perspective and understanding how shaping yourself before you start making content is very important so that you don't get lost in the source. You don't get lost in the process, which is something that happened to me. Very important to start. Make sure you don't get too wrapped up in trying to think all of these ideas. Start first, and then you can refine your process and everything like that. And those 3 ideas that YouTube are pushing out just goes to show, if you are stuck in your old ways, please adapt. Do not be someone who is stuck in doing something that you did when you first started. Adapt, because YouTube is adapting. TikTok is adapting. Twitch is adapting. Kick is adapting. All of these online platforms are constantly changing and improving. Make sure you apply the same to your own channel. So that's about it. Thank you.